In recent days, we have been talking about China's Belt and Road Initiative. One belt, one road. And basically, this is debt trap diplomacy. There's no other way to call about it, where China would go to a developing country, or the developing country would come to China, get a loan, get it built by Chinese workers, charge them an exorbitant high interest rate. The corruption in China, they get money. The corruption in this developing country, guess what? They get money. And the road that wasn't completed, the dam in Ecuador, which has got 17,000 cracks, got me to think, how many Chinese-made dams are there, or Chinese-built dams are there in the world with the same kind of principle? Where the government individuals can just get a couple of $1 million by saying yes, and the less money, the less safe these dams are going to be, and their laws are very vague and very weak related to this. Now, would you agree with the saying, the more there are, the better they are? Well, the answer is no. For example, before we get into the dams, the BYD, the electronic vehicle industry in China, has a graveyard of registered BYD, Build Your Dream cars. So they may build the most, but what are these cars lying around in a graveyard doing? So I disagree with the saying. Now, China has more large dams than any other country in the world, including the world's largest, the Three Gorges Dam. Today, there are more than 87,000 dams in China. If we compare that to the United States, according to the Army Corps of Engineers, US has 91,000 dams across 50 states, Puerto Rico and Guam. Approximately 65 of these dams are privately owned, and federal is about 31%. So let's go on to the next one. You would actually say, what has been the biggest dam collapse in history? Well, it is in China, and they tried to cover it up. In 1975, the Banqiao Dam in China collapsed, and estimated 171,000 lives were lost, the worst dam failure in history. So with that reputation, even though it was sort of like 40 something years ago, they do have that reputation. So we will continue. So if they're so good at building dams, why do you need to build so many coal-fired plants? Well, that's another question. China has the greatest number of coal-fired power stations of any country or territory. As of July 2023, there are 1,142 in the Chinese market, which is 4 times more than such power stations in India, which is rated second. So if all this green energy is working, why do they need so many coal-fired dams? And they say that 2030, China is going to be carbon neutral. Well, they're going to say they are, but what China does is walk the walk and, well, doesn't talk the talk. Or is that the other way around? Sorry, they talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. So these dams don't seem to work. But in a lot of countries, there are these Chinese-built dams. How many dam failures have there been, according with history? It says here there have been 216 significant dam failures occurred throughout the world, according to the International Commission on Large Dams. So how many dams do you think there are actually in the world that have been built by China? Well, I found this article, The New Great Walls, a guide to China's overseas dam industry. Now, if we go to Southeast Asia, you can see the number of dams there. We can continue a little bit more and have a look at Malaysia, just on the island of Borneo. But that's not all. We can go to West Africa, and we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 dams there. And on Eastern Africa, you can see another 4 dams. Now, if we go to Europe, on mainland, you could say the Western Europe, 0. But China has 2. One, I think, is in Albania, and the other one looks like it is in Turkey. Is that Turkey? Please let me know if I'm right or wrong. None in mainland USA, none in Western Europe, none in Canada. But if we go to Central and Southern America, we can see 2 in Central. We can see 1 in Colombia, and we can see 3 in the country next to Colombia, whatever that country is called. And again, it's the same thing. The Chinese workers will come there. First of all, they get the contract. 70% of the workers will be Chinese, so that money goes back to China when it's completed. The dam may cost 1 or 2 billion American dollars. They charge a 7% interest rate, and they also get rights to maybe mining there. And if they are unable to pay the dam, they will maybe have part of that land legally, you could sort of say, as China for 99 years, and they can do what they want with it, exploiting the country. And these countries do it because, well, the good side is, does it provide electricity? Well, some, but it's mainly a money grab and a land grab, and the high percentage of money actually goes to the corruption of it all. So this is the scandal of the Belt and Road Initiative. So here's the question for you. Do you think a Tofu Dreg building like a dam is coming to a city nearby you? Now, if you're in America or Western Europe, Australia, possibly Japan, the answer is going to be, well, no. But if you're in a developing country, the answer is yes. Do you need it? Well, extra power, clean energy, yeah, absolutely, because we all want to be carbon neutral, but there's a big, long way before it's actually going to happen. And it just gets... And what can we do about it? Well, if we're in Europe, nothing. If you're in these developing countries who do have these problems, then the answer is, well, nothing as well. I wish countries would look to more stable countries, maybe like Japan. They can build dams. South Korea, they can build dams. The thing is, the interest rate is going to be a lot cheaper, but the money that they get is going to be considerably more because they're developing countries. There's a higher cost of living. So in that respect, well, the greedy developing countries' government is very happy to just take a lot of money for themselves. Let's leave it there for today, and thumbs up if you like it. Patreon is available if you want to support, along with super thanks, along with the membership. Do subscribe, and thank you to all who listen to this. Now, if I'm right, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree with this, give me a thumbs down. We only sort of see the evidence of what's happened in the past, and we can sort of predict the kind of future because of the past. We learn from history, but China's modern history is not the best in the world, and they don't seem to learn from it. And even the attitude of, well, they don't even really care. It's just about building something small for $1 or $2 billion, and then they can't pay it off. Then the interest rate that esquires, they can't pay that off. So in the contract, the government can have mining rights, which has happened in many, you could say, African countries. You can see the dams there. God bless to all. Food for thought for you on this Wednesday. And I will say bye-bye. Thank you very much. Cheerio.